Hey guys, I'm sure a lot of us in the old radio hobby have come across these things. Panel meters, just simple meters. This is a 3.5-inch Simpson. Looks like 2 amps AC. And a lot of times these things have some minor damage. And a lot of people are basically afraid that these things are so delicate, and they are pretty delicate, that they can't be repaired. Well, they actually can be repaired. The depth of how much you want to repair one is quite variable, but I'm going to go over some very simple repairs you could do that are really easy, that anyone can do, really. If you have a fairly steady hand and the right tools, you can do it. Typical problems, well, maybe you have cracked glass. This one does not have cracked glass, but a lot of them do. A lot of them have loose glass. This one is a bit loose, and that drives some people nuts. In fact, sometimes the glass is so loose, it's actually pressed up against the insides of the scale, and the movement does not work. Now, I am not going to be covering changing a movement. A movement is the actual very, very delicate precision bits down here where all the magic happens. No, I'm just going to be covering some very basic repairs, like how to realign the little zeroing screw, replacing glass, and affixing glass, tightening the glass up. So you're going to need a little screwdriver because, as you can see, there are generally 3 little flathead screws. They're flat so it can fit in the panel and not interfere. And the brands vary. Westinghouse or Western Electric or the Simpson, they have slightly different screws, but they're pretty much all going to be flathead, tiny little screws. You're going to want to take those out. And remember, don't lose the screws. Here, they're on my my dirty moving blanket. I'm just going to let them fall and not bounce. So take all 3 out. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do, you can see there's a seam right along the edge here. Grab it by the studs here. Pull it out straight. Don't want to really twist or anything. Just pull it out straight. Now here we have the guts here, and well, this bit doesn't need repair here. So we're just going to set it over here. Now, on the inside here, if you have loose glass or broken glass, see this ring here? That ring is pressed in, and it's supposed to press the glass all the way up against the plastic face. A lot of times it's loose. If you need to replace the glass, well, say there's a crack, just bust it out and hey, the ring will come out. Now this glass is still staying in there, so that's nice, but let's pretend it's loose. It actually is a little loose. What you're going to want to do, well, it's a good idea to clean it out right now, just in case there's a little gunk in there. This one is pretty darn clean, so I'm just going to leave it. So just shove the retaining ring in. And this one's a little loose. And just be careful here. Just push it in. There's a little lip. Just push it in. You'll feel it go in. Now, a lot of times, it is a really tight fit and it just fits by friction. But if it is not, it makes good sense. Just take a little crazy glue or some sort of adhesive and just put a little dot. Maybe there, maybe there. You don't need much. If you do use crazy glue, one thing that I will recommend, strongly recommend, say I just did this. This is my pretend glue here. Squirt, squirt, squirt. Just a tiny amount. Just set it to the side. Let it sit overnight. Do not try and reassemble the meter right away. If you do, as the glue sets, it will outgas or something like that, And the inside of your glass, the inside of your meter will become cloudy. Then you'll have to clean it up again. So the best thing to do is just let it sit. Go watch some TV. I don't know how long. I generally leave them overnight. I'm in no hurry. Okay, let's say the day has passed and it's time to reassemble this thing. Another tip is this little zeroing mechanism. Sometimes it's all out of skew. Be pretty careful here. Hey, it's like way over there. And you have to get it to align with the centering screw here. You can see there's a little, I don't know if you can really see, there's a little offset little post or something like that. Little post. What you're going to want to do, don't worry about trying to get it zeroed right now. You can do that after you get everything assembled, but just set it straight down. See, it's not really zeroed, but that's okay. We don't care about that. Then take this and make sure that little nub is also straight down. That way, when you put it together, things will align and you won't have problems. Now, when you put these things back together, once again, go straight. Do not twist, especially now. Okay, it's going to be a little difficult. Let's see if I did it. No, I don't think I did it right. These things can sometimes, one little nudge and you get misaligned. Let's try that again. Okay, it looks good. Okay, I think we've got it. We went in pretty straight. Let's put these screws back in. Hopefully you did not lose the screws. Some of the brands are compatible, some are not. It makes sense to keep around a couple of busted meters for replacement glass, replacement screws, things like that. I've got a stock of busted meters. That way, if you need screws for a Simpson, look in your box, find a busted Simpson. Hopefully it's got compatible screws. You know, they change models over the years, of course. Okay, we're back. Let's make sure we got it all zeroed up. Does it work? Yes, it looks like the zeroing screw works. So let's zero it out. Remember, you kind of want to do this vertically, because if you go like that, it may not zero properly. So do it holding it vertically, and yeah, we're pretty close there. Glass is nice and tight now. Screws are down. You may or may not want to put a little blob of stuff on these. It doesn't matter. Most of the time, you don't really need to. On some of the original meters, you will have this covered with some sort of tar or some sort of Loctite mechanism. We're just going to leave this as is. So now you have a meter with tight glass, or maybe new glass. Maybe your zeroing screw here is finally back, because sometimes, you know, if someone apes on it a little bit, it'll fall out of that little groove and it'll never zero properly. So, okay, hopefully you learned a few things here about some very basic meter repair. Like I said, it can get far more complex, but this was just very basic. Dealing with the actual movement down here can be a little bit of an art, because there's magic happening down there on some of these, especially the very sensitive meters and maybe the microamp range. Okay, well, I hope that you enjoyed this video and could find some use out of it. Bye.